Hello, welcome to my channel 100 Days with Kajo. If you're new here, my channel focuses on trying new hobbies and activities for 100 days to make sure that we are accomplishing the things that we say we want to try out. So that way I feel fulfilled, that I feel happy, and I feel accomplished overall. Filming my various series and journeys have held me accountable, right? I'm able to say I tried A, B, and C, that I've accomplished X, Y, Z, and that I love LMNOP, right? That's what we want in life, to make sure that we are actually doing the things that we set our minds to. And this series now is focusing on reformer Pilates. How fun! If you haven't seen the last video, it kind of talked about, it talked about my experiences, how my body felt. I was kind of what is wrong with me? I was brainstorming what I wanted to do with this series, because when I started it, it was just kind of on the whim. It was on the whim. I think our next series should be articulating ourselves, because you guys don't know, I've filmed this intro 10 times and I keep messing up. It's not as easy as you think. As soon as I put the camera on, I'm shy. Don't like it. It's okay. We're learning, right? We're growing. We're self-improving. That's the whole point of this channel. But like I was saying, in the last video, I was just going through what I was doing, how I was feeling, expectations for the series, and I'm really excited. So let's get started. This video, we're gonna go into how to prepare for your first Pilates class. We're going to break it into two segments. Segment 1 will be before signing up, and segment 2 will be the day before or the day of your specifically reformer Pilates class. For the first segment, before signing up, I have about 6 tips. So tip number 1 is to make sure that you stretch and do Pilates at home. You want to make sure that you get your body used to the movements that you make in your reformer Pilates class. One movement that I'm thinking of right off the top of my head is a hip thrust, and you want to make sure that you're practicing that on the mat, making sure that you're engaging your core and you are comfortable doing that, because when you do your reformer class, it will be a slightly higher intensity, because they're using machinery and maybe they're adding like incline. You want to make sure that your body is getting used to those type of movements. Tip number 2 is to make sure you improve your diet. You want to make sure that you're in the habit of eating healthy, or if you do other workouts, get in the habit of eating afterwards and hydrating throughout it. You want to make sure that when you are taking this class, that you are able to reap the benefits of it. And a big way to do that is making sure that you're eating right. That doesn't mean like starve yourself, like eat. Like I eat all the time too, but you want to make sure that you are nourishing your body the way it needs to be. Tip number 3, you want to practice breathing. So throughout the moves, you'll be required to control your breath a lot. And I literally have this problem right now. Like when I talk, I hold my breath. So excuse me if I'm like really breathy, but you want to practice breathing. This way you are able to stay in a, I guess we can call it exercise or position longer, because you're able to breathe with the movements, right? So you may have to like go up and breathe in and then go down and breathe out, or whatever your instructor says. So you want to make sure that when you are practicing your mat Pilates at home, that you are consciously saying, okay, breathe in, breathe out, right? A lot of the times it's you engaging your core, and breathing is a really good way of making sure it's intact and making sure that you're in tune with your body, and you don't want to restrict oxygen. It will make a workout not fun, and you're less likely to come back if you're not breathing. And you want to make sure you can practice that whenever you can. Let's say you're not really into working out a lot and this is your gateway. You can practice on your bed, you can practice on your walks of just saying like, okay, on my right foot I breathe in, on my left foot I breathe out. You want to make sure that you are able to match your breath to your movements, or like maybe you move your arms, or maybe, who knows, you can kind of just plan that out the way you want to, but you want to make sure that you're breathing correctly. Tip number 4, you want to improve your mindset. So the other tips were more about your body, stretching, yada yada yada. But if you go in with the mindset that this is going to be hard, or this is going to be bad, or oh, like I have to do this because I'm ugly or I'm not where I want to be, you will not like it. And that goes for any workout. You want to make sure that you're in a space where you love the way you look, the way you feel, right? But you also love that you want to change it. Because if you change it and you didn't love yourself then, you won't love yourself, I'm going to say now, right? So you want to make sure that your mindset is right. So if you need to practice mindfulness before you go in, or if you want to practice mindfulness at home, or you want to journal of like why you want to do it, make sure you're going in there for the right reasons. Because if you're someone who's a little body conscious or body insecure, and you go in and you see people who are not your body type, or like skinnier or stronger, whatever, you don't want that. You don't want seeing them to deter you from getting stronger. And maybe losing weight isn't even your goal, but you want to make sure like, oh, like this person is flexible. It's okay. Maybe they've been doing something longer. Their body is different. They're maybe ethnically different.
When I say ethnically different, I mean that in terms of how people use their bodies, right? So for the example I had is that a lot of East Asians can squat really, really low, or how Samoans have really big and natural builds. You don't always want to compare yourself to others because they could just be structured different. Like their DNA is quite literally different from yours. I just wanted to clear that up because as I was editing this video, I realized that if you weren't thinking exactly what I was thinking, it would throw you off guard. All right, thank you.
You want to make sure that you're going in saying, I'm here for me. Nobody's judging you. I mean, everyone's paying a high price. Like nobody truly cares. So you want to make sure that your mind is right. So then when you go in, you can actually focus on the workout versus how does my, like, oh my goodness, like how do I look right now? Like, are people looking at you? Trust me, nobody's looking at you. Everybody's trying to breathe. Trying to breathe. Okay. Tip number 5. So do everything that I had said before: the breathing, the improve your mindset, the improve your diet, the stretching, whatever, right? You want to make sure you do that regardless if you do reformer Pilates or not. But this is super important before you make that next step. Talk to your doctor. You want to make sure that you are okay to do this because you are on equipment. It doesn't, I even thinking about it is making me stutter, but I like to say that I'm a very fit person. I could be more flexible and like work on my mobility, honestly, but you are working with machinery. You are going to move your body and move body parts that you didn't even know had like muscles on it, right? So you want to make sure your doctor is like, okay, it's okay for you to do this. And if you have any injuries, you want to make sure it's okay to do that. You do not want to do this without consulting a doctor if you know for a fact that it wouldn't be 100% okay if you went. Um, and then the last tip, which it's really the least important, but I'm going to throw it in here. You want to make sure that you have all the clothes that you need, right? So if you want to be comfortable, of course, wear workout clothes that you are comfortable with. First, that's bottom line. However, I will advise wearing maybe a little more fitted ones like leggings or like biker shorts. You don't want anything restricting you or holding you down or like getting caught up in anything, which it will likely not, but I promise you having it a little bit more fitted on your body will help you a lot more. That was redundant, but it's okay. That's okay. And ooh, you also want to make sure you have the Pilates socks. I think you can have regular ones in there, but I didn't grab it. But the Pilates socks have like these little sticky pads. I don't know what to call them. They're grippy, right? So that way when you are on your tippy toes or when you're on that bar, when you're like standing on the machinery, that you're not slipping and sliding. And they also have a um almost called a resistant mat. I don't know what they call it, but it makes sure that you don't slip when you're doing like certain exercises. But you want to make sure you get a couple of those socks just to have on hand. I got mine from Walmart. You could buy it at the studio, they sell it, but it it is a little pricier in the studio. And if you don't care, then get at the studio. But if you do care, Amazon, Walmart, I don't know if Target has it, but I got mine from Walmart and it's pretty good. All right. Second note number 2, this is focusing on the day before and the day of. I have 4 tips, not that many. So tip number 1, you want a big girl stretch the day before, the day of. I regularly go on runs and work out, and when I tell you, stretch, babe, stretch. Like even in the class, it may not feel as bad, right? I typically leave feeling a bit refreshed. The next day, I am so sore and I'm having to use my, oh my goodness, I almost called it a machine gun, my massage gun on my muscles, and I'm stretching morning and night, which I've been trying to get into practice of even before. Stretching will help you a lot. It will reduce injury. It will make you feel more in tune with your body. And honestly, it'll make you feel more confident going in because you're like, okay, I'm already warmed up. Like I'm already, um, I almost said again, in tune with your body. But that's truly what it is. You want to be more in tune, and it'll increase your ability to perform, honestly. Tip number 2, you want to make sure that you get there early to talk to the instructor and to get familiar with the facility. So I'm putting this in because typically when we try something new, you get a little nervous. And if you're late, you get extra nervous. And while you're in the workout, you're nervous. And then you might not perform as well. So you want to make sure you get there early, right? You find your parking spot. You know, if you need to build up the courage and confidence, like you have the space and time to do so. And when you go in, you can kind of check it out, familiarize yourself with the facility, with the, you say how the receptionist and your instructor, you can chit chat with them if they're not teaching a class. And when you talk to your instructor, you want to let them know if you have any pre-existing health conditions, like I said earlier, like injuries, or if your doctor specifically said XYZ. I don't know what doctors say, but you want to make sure that you inform them of that. Now, if you go to a good studio, they will ask you every time you go. They ask everybody, so don't take it personal if they like come up to you and stuff. But they ask everyone if they have injuries, because you could go to a class Friday and then that Monday you had an injury over the weekend. You're like, oh yeah, actually I sprained my ankle a little bit. Like I hurt my ankle. You let them know, so that way when um, you the class actually starts and they're walking around and you're not just like doing it and then they're just telling you what you need to do. They go around and like fix you and tell you like, oh, okay, like engage your core a little bit, or like let me help you here, or like, oh, this isn't quite right. Let me change these springs for you. They're helping and guiding everyone hands on. And let's say you hurt your ankle, right? They know that and they see like, oh, okay, she's having a hard time um, doing this certain move. I have an alternative way that she can do this and still get the benefits of it. So they go over there and it's like, hey, I know your ankle was hurting. Do this instead. It's less painful, but you'll still get a lot out of it, right? That makes you feel confident to know like, okay, like I don't have to sit it out while everyone's doing the hard version. No, it's just an alternative version to make sure that you're not hurting yourself more. You're not going in to hurt yourself. So that was a lot. Oh, before I forget, if I'm only saying this because someone had mentioned this to me in one of my classes where she had actually told the instructor about an injury that she had, and the instructor was kind of like, okay, well, why don't you do it? Like just do it. If that ever happens to you, like please vocalize it. Now, continue to finish that class, but do what you believe is safe for your body. And after the class is done, you can tell them about how you didn't think that was appropriate or you didn't like that, and you can go into detail, but like, hey, like I really couldn't do that because XYZ. Now, if you're someone that's non-confrontational and that scares you, you can talk to the receptionist or another instructor. The studio that I go to, they rotate, so a receptionist could also be an instructor. She's just not teaching at that moment, teaching later, or she taught earlier. You can tell her, hey, I had a negative experience with this instructor and I just wanted to say like it just didn't sit with me right, and then that way they may fix the solution, Jesus, fix the problem, and you don't have to worry about that again. Or honestly, there are a number of instructors that you can choose from. They all teach at different times, but let's say that you like to go at 6:30 in the morning and on Tuesdays, and on Tuesdays at 6:30 it's that same one, right? You want to make sure that you are feeling safe and that you vocalize it, if not to them, then to somebody else. So that way it is fixed. You never, ever want to feel uncomfortable. But if everyone there is kind of toxic, then I say go to a new location, go to a new studio, do whatever you need to do. So, yeah. All right. Number 3, you want to make sure you bring water and a snack. And my later videos will go into the nutrition and what I recommend and stuff. Of course, I'm not a doctor, so Take what I say with a grain of salt. But you want to make sure you have water with you right next to your machine. So like if you have to take a break, which they don't have any scheduled breaks throughout the workout, and it's usually like 40-45 minutes. But if you need a break, you take a break and you drink the water. When you're changing positions, or if you're grabbing like the box or the hoop, or once you start, you'll know what I'm talking about. And you can just grab a quick sip of water and then get back into it. You want to make sure it's there. Bring it with you every time. It's super important to hydrate. And afterwards, I like to bring an apple or oranges or oh yeah, those are the only things I really bring. But I would bring like maybe a granola bar later in the future. But I've been going at 6:30 in the morning, and I want to kind of save my appetite when I go home to like eat a good meal. But immediately after workout, I like to eat the apple because it takes me about like 20-ish minutes to get home, and I want to make sure that I'm immediately nourishing my body. You want to make sure that you eat right after the workout. Yeah, you want to make sure you looking at my list. You want to make sure you eat right after the workout, and make sure that you avoid heavy meals before, because if you eat a really heavy meal and like let's say you digest it, right? But now you're gassy. You know what I'm talking about. Right? You ate Qdoba or Chipotle or whatever. Now you're gassy. You're more worried about not farting than doing the workout. So I personally don't eat right before the workout. I like to go just empty. That's me. Don't I can't speak for everyone, but that's what I do. But I go in, I don't eat anything, but I don't feel like I'm super hungry and I'm starving. No, not really. But it allows me to focus on the workout, allows me to engage my core because I'm not like bloated or like, oh yeah, yeah. Like when you're engaging your core, imagine like all of a sudden you have to go poo in the middle of the workout that you pay money for. You don't want that, right? So don't eat heavy meals before. Again, I had been going at 6:30 in the morning, so I'm not really eating heavy meals right before. But if you're going, I don't know, let's say 6 p.m. and you had lunch a little earlier, like make sure you have a granola bar to push you through. And then afterwards, like eat real food. Like I eat like a big breakfast. Typically my breakfast, actually no, I'm not going to go into that. That's going to be for the nutrition video. But you want to make sure you eat a good meal. My last tip is to one, rest. Make sure that you allot time after your workouts to rest, to stretch, to use your massage gun, whatever you need to do, to take a nap, whatever. And that's for any workout. You want to make sure that you rest right afterwards. You don't want to just like, jump into something else. And that's part of the recovery process. It's part of the workout process is having good rest and recovery times. You also want to, I guess, the first couple of weeks, because I say give it at least a month, right? If like you give it a week and it's like horrible, like obvious, drop it. But if you're like iffy, give it like a month. Evaluate: is this something that you like to do? Is this something that you can fit into your schedule? Is this something that is enjoyable? Is this something that you feel comfortable incurring a cost for? Like, do you believe it's worth it? And does it match the needs that you want? So the reason I'm taking a Pilates class is I want to build flexibility and mobility overall and just like get stronger with just my body. Like I lift here, there, but I'm like, no, I want to make sure that my body's strong on its own. That's why I'm taking the Pilates class. Some people say they do it to lose weight. Maybe it is for losing. I have no idea. That's not my goal, right? I know that I can set time aside for it. I'm gonna go into a schedule in my next video, but I know that right now I go to work 2 times out of the week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, because I'm part time right now. But I know that starting next year in January, I'll be full time, so that'll change. So I have to reevaluate again, like, okay, does this fit in my schedule? Because now I can go in 5 days out of the. I could go anytime. Wait, how do I phrase this? Out of the 5 days in the week, I can go anytime during those days versus Tuesday and Thursday. Whatever. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. The days I'm not working, I can go at any time. And that's completely different when I'm working my 9 to 5. Will I be willing to go work out at 6:30 in the morning knowing that I have to clock in at 9 a.m.? The survey says no. Survey says no. But You want to make sure you're evaluating this. You want to make sure, is this enjoyable? I enjoy it so far. It makes me feel good. I've made a friend. We chit chat. If I see her there, we said that if we get in the rhythm of things, that we'd kind of like try to coordinate a class or two to like go, and then like, well, I'm making this part of it, like maybe have breakfast afterwards, but that could possibly happen, and I'm open for it. And you want to just really sit down and think about like, okay, is this aligned with what I want to do? You don't want to just do the Pilates because it's a trend. Am I doing it because it's a trend? A little bit. I didn't really know what Pilates fully was before it became more mainstream. More mainstream. But I liked the benefits of it. Honestly, I liked the aesthetics of it. Sue me, right? But after like digging a little deeper, I realized like, okay, like there are benefits that I could reap from it, and they align with my health and body. I don't want to say body goals. Strength is my body goal, right? My health and my body goals. So that's one reason I'm doing. Like, don't just do it because everyone's doing it. If you don't like it, please don't do it. All right, thank you for watching my video. Our next one will be about my workout plan, my schedule, and like really digging deep into it. And I hope that this journey is going good for you guys as it is for me. I'm really excited to I'm gonna say get through it, but like to really do this. Like I'm really excited. So I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, bye. Love you.